Salespeople are constantly asking me about cold calls, and they're saying, you know what, my cold call script just never works. Prospects, they don't want to hear from me, it never works. What I will tell you is that there are salespeople out there are salespeople in my community that are making cold dials and are super effective with it. And they're setting up tons of appointments. There may be some strategies that you can pepper in to make sure that your cold dials are more effective. And one of them is having a better script. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a cold call script that actually works. Check it out. Number one, always follow a script. Any salesperson who makes a lot of cold dials and doesn't follow a script is doing the equivalent of banging their head against a cement wall as hard as they can 20 times a day or 50 times a day, because that is what making a cold call without a script is like. If you do not have a script, you are banging your head against a cement wall, period. You have to have a script. Now, people always say, oh, but if I have a script and I sound scripted, well, that just means that you can't read well or that you struggle to use the script. But that can just take some practice. It's fine. You just need to practice the script so that way it doesn't sound scripted. I use a script every time I've ever made a dial, and it doesn't sound scripted because I've practiced it enough and it sounds really good and it sounds normal. Just think of an actor acting from a movie without a script. It doesn't work. You need to have a script every single time. Number two, pattern interrupt with contingencies. Now, I'm throwing a lot at you in this video. This is super tactical, but pattern interrupt with contingencies is key. So basically the first 10 seconds of the call is really important. How you're starting the call. Most salespeople start a call with, how are you today? That's crap. Don't do any of that. Instead, use a question or an opening phrase to engage the prospect in a way that they don't hear a lot. It could be anything. It could be, did I catch you at a bad time? How have you been? What's up? I don't care. But just break the pattern, be different. And by the way, when they try to get off the phone with you, which they often will, you want to have contingencies or fallbacks that are going to help you immediately up front stay on the phone. You want to have something that when the prospect is like, oh, this is a bad time, can you call me back later? You've got to have just that one sentence that gets you to that next step. That's what contingencies are all about. Number three, get permission up front. This is really important in cold calls. Any type of a prospecting call is that you want to get some permission to continue the call a little bit. Because if you're just plowing through, you're going to eventually hit a point where they're like, either they've stopped paying attention to you or they're just immediately trying to get off the phone. Something like, would it be okay if I just shared with you exactly why I called? And if after doesn't make sense, we could hang up. Fair? So now you've gotten some permission to continue the call. Number four, super short intro. This is really important that the introductory part of who you are and why you're calling is really quick because you don't have a lot of time. They're doing a lot of things. They're typing on their keyboard. They're getting yelled at by their spouse during a pandemic. There's so many different things that could be happening. And so you want to keep that introduction really short and to one sentence, which again is why a script is so important, because if you don't have the script, you're going to likely meander all over the place. Number five, dangle the carrot. You want to picture the horse who's walking and chasing the carrot. What is the carrot that gets them to want to engage with you? What is that piece of content or that piece of insight that you can demonstrate that actually gets them to say, oh, okay, this person's useful to me. I'm willing to stay on the phone with them. Number six, demonstrate quick insight. Demonstrating insight makes your prospecting calls so much more effective, because if you can demonstrate insight in your prospecting calls, now you are seen more as someone who's an authority as opposed to just a cheeseball salesperson. Think about what can you be telling them that demonstrates some real insight. Is there some data or some information that you can share them quickly that will really engage them and get them to say, huh, okay, that's interesting. Number seven, share their challenges. So this is one of the best ways that you can demonstrate insight, which is to share what you're seeing in the marketplace. So you might say something like, George, some of the challenges that I'm seeing a lot of our clients face in today's marketplace are A, B, C. And now you're showing that you're kind of an expert in their world. If you can share challenges that they're going to relate to, now they're much more likely to want to connect with you. Number 8, engage. This is really important. So after you've shared those likely challenges, now you want to engage them. You don't want to just be silent or just move on to the next thing or plow through. Instead, you want to engage them in the conversation. So you might say, hey, we're seeing a lot of challenges in the industry that look like this, this, and this. Do any of those issues ring true to you? Or does that make any sense in your world? Or anything like that. I mean, the actual question isn't actually that important, but you want to have a question that engages them in the conversation and can get them talking. Number 9, keep it short. Keep your calls short. If the prospect starts talking a lot and they want to keep going, that's fine. But don't build out this super long script, because most of the time the shorter scripts are much more effective at actually scheduling the appointment. Because that's typically the goal, is to get a meeting or some kind of a scheduled appointment as a result of the call. So keep the call short. The more that you meander and talk and blab and all this stuff, the more likely you are to lose the prospect. Number 10, make a recommendation. Once you feel like you've got them, once you feel like you've gotten them talking and they're engaged in the conversation, now is time to make a recommendation. So you might say something like, George, can I make a recommendation? And they'll say, sure. You say, okay, great. Why don't we schedule a call and blah, 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 fill in the blank. Make a recommendation for that next step. Number 11, get the clear next step. Always get a clear next step. The only successful prospecting call is a prospecting call that has a clear next step. It doesn't have to be a sale. Chances are it's not a sale, but you always want to have a clear next step. And that's usually a scheduled appointment that's in your calendar and in their calendar as a result of a calendar invite. Get the clear next step. So there is how to build a cold call script that actually works. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have an awesome free training on the data-driven approach to closing more sales in today's marketplace. Just click right here to get registered instantly. Seriously, just click right here. This is an in-depth training that will help you close more sales at higher prices, all while generating more meetings. Also, if you got some value, please like this video below on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking my face that should be right about here to get access to a new video just like this one each week.